God saved me, God help him, out of a crack house. Okay, what happened to me was I had sold a guy some drugs and he was supposed to bring me my money back the next day and he didn't. So when I saw him, I asked him for my money and he said he didn't have it, but he had, this is when the 4G phones was just coming out. He had a brand new phone, touchscreen. I said, well, give me the phone till you give me the money. And he said, no, it was his girl's phone. So I punched him in the face. So he ran to a gas station. I ran behind him. They locked the doors where he couldn't get in. And when he turned around, I hit him and he ducked and I kicked him. And when he raised up, blood went all over my shirt. And I had a moment of clarity. And I said, then, God, I got to stop. You know, either I'm gonna kill somebody or somebody's gonna kill me. So I went back to my little crack house with the candles burning. And I had got to where I hated the sunlight. Because whenever sunlight came up, that meant that the cycle started over. So in the morning when I got up, I called my brother to come get me to bring me to the Star of Hope because I knew if I'd stayed out there, I'd have died. So when my brother brought me to the Star of Hope, I was 168 pounds. So I was a featherweight and I got in the program and got upstairs and one of the counselors asked me, he said, what is it that you want? You know, and I was crying. And I told him, I said, how did my life get like this? You know, how did I let my life get so raggedy? And the counselor, Mr. Jenkins, and he told me about a football team that went 0-13. They lost every game the whole season. And he said, when the coach brought in the new players, the first thing he did was throw away all the old tapes. And he told me that's what I was going to have to do. I was gonna have to throw away all my old ways, everything. I was gonna have to become totally new because everything I knew was no benefit to me. And that's where my journey began. Chapel services to me are God's lifeline, really, because that's what keeps the fire alive in the spirit. Because I know when I don't go to chapel or whenever I would miss chapel services, I'd have an empty feeling, you know, and then I'd regret it because I wished I had went. Because I know for me that the majority of my life, all I've ever heard was negative, you know, from my parents that were alcoholic and addicts all the way up until I got into the Star of Hope. So the only positive messages that I ever heard was when I got to chapel. So that's what I fed off of. That's what I wanted to be in, you know, and that's what God called me to. I'd say, young man, look, there's another way. You don't have to go on living this way. I was a drug addict for over 35, 36 years. And if God saved me, I know He'll save you. Because I've done things I'm not going to tell nobody but God. And I know if He still opened up and let me in, He'll let you in. But you have to change your ways. You can't keep going this way. You're dying every day. And every day you look in the mirror, you're lying to yourself, telling yourself you haven't lost weight and you're still looking good. You know, and it's time to stop. You know, denial is a big river going the wrong way. Either you're going to latch out and catch a hold of somebody for help, or you're going to drown in this river. You know, here's my hand if you want help. That's what I tell you. I'd like to thank all the staff of the Star of Hope, especially for putting up with me. I'd like to thank all the donors and everybody that gives to the Star of Hope because it's a worthy cause. You're really helping people. You're helping people. And I know one thing that is true, that God says you change people through love. And giving to the Star of Hope, you're giving people an opportunity to love people back to health. And this is the only lifeline that I know of that leads straight to Christ. So don't give up. Keep giving. Thank you.